The three big elephants you have in the room when it comes to learning Igbo language are what I want to talk about today. And top of that list is dialect. Next to that is vocabulary. And last but not the least is tone. These are the three things I think anybody who wants to learn the Igbo language should be careful and mindful of. When it comes to dialect, it's overrated. Students make fuss about nothing over the dialect. It's not a big deal. That we have multiple dialects in the Igbo language is not a big deal. You can't imagine that somebody who is Igbo would speak something that I would not be able to understand as long as they speak slowly. So dialect is not a challenge for you when you're learning the Igbo language. You shouldn't be overly concerned about what dialect does this person teaching, what dialect is this person teaching, or be particular about I want to learn the Anambra dialect or I want to learn the Enugu dialect. It's just like singing. My music coach told me many years ago in the choir, he said, don't say I want to learn soprano, I want to learn alto, I want to learn tenor. So you have to learn to sing melody, and from melody you'll find your part. So it's just the same thing with learning the Igbo language. Igbo is Igbo. If it weren't Igbo, we would call them different languages. And that's why we have a proverb in Igbo that says, Igbo na sonolunolu apo kwara obroto. We speak in different dialects and different tones and all of it. But when we cough, it stays the same. At the root of everything we speak is one language, the Igbo language. So don't be overly concerned about the dialect. Oh, what dialect should I start with? What is my family father's dialect? So that you're from Anambra doesn't mean you have to learn the Anambra Igbo. That you're from Imo State doesn't mean you have to learn the Imo State Igbo. Just learn how to speak the Igbo language and you are good to go. Odema. Next to that is vocabulary. Vocabulary. And we have gone very far in getting almost every word that exists in Igbo language, and that is good. But the primary name of things in Igbo language are not conversational. That is, they are not conversationally relevant. You can't use them when making conversation. For example, when you learn that rice is osikapa and you learn that beans is agua, you are never going to enter any restaurant where you would have to order beans as agua, or where you have to find on the menu rice is listed as osikapa. Never, ever, ever. Not in any menu in Nigeria, not in any menu in any of the Igbo speaking states or communities or whatever. You're never going to find that. So those kind of vocabulary are irrelevant for you. But still, in that same food category, you enter a restaurant and you're going to find ofapo, ofeju, okwa, owa, and all of that. These are Igbo names for food that are relevant for you to learn. So what is the thing when it comes to vocabulary? Most of the things I see you guys learning are junk, and I just want you to scrap the junks. You see, scrap the junks. In my one-on-one with students, I tell them, okay, yeah, these are all the things, the primary native names of these things, but you are never going to have an opportunity to use them in a conversation. And if you ever use them in a conversation, you will just be showing off or trying to confuse native speakers. You would have to be wanting to confuse native speakers to use some of these words. What do I mean? Example is aqua. Aqua is the word for bridge in Igbo. And if by the show of hand you are an Igbo speaking native and you know before today that aqua is bridge, you find that not up to 5% do. And I'm not exaggerating. So these are words that are not in everyday use, that are not conversational, that you don't want to learn. If you learn them, they are not useful. You won't be using them. So vocabulary, you have to be very careful. A lot, and I'm not exaggerating, 50-50 of everything you're being taught out there as Igbo vocabulary is junk. Name of things, I'm talking of name of things in Igbo that you are being fed is junk. And there's how far you can get away with it. You can say air conditioned is ntoyi, and you can get away with it because it's very descriptive. You can say fridge is iboyi, and you can get away with it because it's very descriptive. But there are some of these things that you could never possibly get away with, and when you say it, the people you're talking to are not going to understand what you're trying to communicate. So be careful, very, very careful. I think this is the real big elephant when it comes to learning Igbo language, because most people are ignorant of it and it's present in the room and it's the reason why you're learning so much but you're speaking so little, because you're unable to speak anything. And the people you talk to in Igbo, they say and when you're speaking a language for the first time, I don't know if it's happened to you. It's happened to me a lot when I learned the Hausa. It was the Hausa I had to use to fight it. When you say something and the native speaker says and you just revert back to English because you feel I just said rubbish. I don't do that. When I say something to you and you say I repeat it again. And I found out that it's not because you are wrong exactly. Most of the times it's not because you're wrong. Most of the time it's because they are listening for English, and you said something that doesn't sound, doesn't fit into the English that their ears have been tuned to hear from you. So they're gonna have to take a minute to recalibrate and hear you in their language. So it happens, and when they say don't lose all your confidence, because it takes a lot of confidence to put yourself together and say something you're not even sure is right. But don't lose your confidence and revert back to English when you're talking to a native speaker in the language you're trying to learn, in this case Igbo. Happened to me a lot. I had to speak those things. And even when I know my Igbo, my Hausa wasn't exactly so excellent, it wasn't so native, it was so learned. There are things you learned, the person just learned the phrase. It's so crammed. One an hour, and I never did wancha, bread wancha now, bread wancha now. And I'm like, oh wow, I heard that when someone else said it, that wanted to come buy the thing I was buying. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But that's a topic for another day. So what I want to tell you is your vocabulary, watch it. Most of the things you're learning are junks. You're not going to need them. And when you speak them, people won't understand, and it will make you lose confidence, and then you go back to speaking English. Doesn't work for you, always backfires. Then the last elephant in the room. Of course, there are plenty elephants in the room. Maybe baby elephants, you understand, but I'm talking about the giant elephants in the room when it comes to learning the Igbo language. The last one, this is the biggest of all the biggies, and I saved the big for the last. That is tone. That is tone. Let me do this for you. Isi, head. Isi, smell. Isi, blindness. Isi, to cook. Head, smell, blindness, to cook. One word, but just saying it differently. Isi, 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 isi. Just tweaking it a little. Let's see another one. I've done this one on the channel before. Aqua, weep, weeping, crying, cry. Aqua, clothing. Aqua, egg. Aqua, bridge. So how in the world, who developed the Igbo language? How would you let's say this one that has to do with sentence. In Abia, you are coming. In Abia, are you coming? In fact, that was one I gave you in the 30 words and phrases. Ibiala, welcome. Ibiala, you have come again. You have started again. A warning, confrontation. So 1 minute I'm saying welcome, and the other minute I'm wanting to fight you with the exact same word, just different emphasis, different stress, and then tone. So it has to do with your tone and your tone pattern, what goes high, what goes low, and all of that. And for that, you're gonna have tonal drills. I do tonal drills with my students in one-on-one. I do tonal drills with them. You go through tone until you're able to understand and recognize. Because one time I did this exercise with a student, and the student told me, I don't hear any difference. That's the first thing I get. I don't hear any difference. If the things I said, isi, 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 you heard no difference, that means you need to start a tonal drill. Because chances are you're going to be saying something that doesn't mean anything because you changed the tone placement. Igbo is a tonal language, and you can't speak anything. You can't speak anything. I don't know how to say it. You can't speak Igbo if you don't get a hang of the tone. It is the biggest elephant in the room. You can know all the vocabulary in the world. You can know all the dialects in the world. You can know and learn plenty books and channels and be committed and all the passion, all your hard work will come to nothing if you don't master tone. Once again, my name is Prince Obiefule and this is Igbo Medicine. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, push it. I call it the things you need to know, 3 things you need to know before you start learning the Igbo language. So I would say, don't start learning Igbo until you have seen these lessons. So send it to any of your friends, your wife, your sibling, your children that want to learn the Igbo language. Put this thing in front of you because you can be building, but what you're building has no foundation, or it may have foundation, but the structure is weak, such that a little pressure and the whole thing collapses. You find that you've been building trash. Same thing with your language. Imagine all the years and all the minutes and all the hours of effort you've put into learning the Igbo language coming to naught simply because you didn't take care of tone, or you learned all the junk vocabulary, or because you were restricting yourself as a result of dialect. You don't want to learn from this person because she's teaching with another dialect. You don't want to learn from this YouTube channel because they are teaching from another dialect. You don't want to make use of the resources you found on this website because it's in another dialect. You are so concerned about dialect, you restrict yourself and you end up learning later, because already on the chat on YouTube and online on the internet, there are just very little resources to teach you how to speak Igbo language. And if out of the very little resources you're being selective of which one to take advantage of and which one not to use, then you are already shortchanging yourself. So you have to walk through that and realize that dialect is not an issue. What you have to take care of is the junk vocabulary you're learning that you shouldn't learn, and then you have to take care of tone. And all of this you're going to have access to in the one-on-one, and already I have a video on my channel to help you walk through most of this. I'm doing quizzes. I did a quiz. I don't know if you see the last video I released. I did a quiz for you to go and learn 30 words and phrases. I'm making a quiz like that for tone, where you're going to be drilled in tone across those quizzes. Now those quizzes are going to be only available to people in membership. Join membership, be a member of the channel, support what we do, encourage what we do, and all of that. So my name is Prince Obiefule, and of course if you want to take it up to the next level, you can send me a message to igbomedicine@gmail.com, or you can send me a message to the WhatsApp link on this video, and then you find out about my one-on-one program and how to take advantage of it. My name once again is Prince Obiefule. I've said it 1,000 times. Prince Obiefule, Prince Obiefule. And yes, this is Igbo Medicine. Thank you. Dalu.